All right, so we're looking at this next piece, and what we're going to be using right now, pretty much. Okay, so we're going to be doing this idea with SOHCAHTOA. So I got SOHCAHTOA going on, all kinds of stuff there. But what was that? That was just an acronym, a pattern for, like sine of something equals the opposite over the hypotenuse, and cosine of something equals the adjacent over the hypotenuse, and then tangent of whatever equals the opposite over the adjacent. And that's all that I'm getting from this. We got the opposite, the adjacent, the hypotenuse, the opposite, the hypotenuse, all with these letters here, the SOHCAHTOA, so sine, cosine, tangent. All right, so what does that mean? Well, let's just do the basics here. It says tangent of A. Well, if I'm doing tangent of A, that means I got my TOA group. So I'm going to say tangent of A is going to be equal to the opposite, the O, on top, and the adjacent on the bottom. So then the question is, which one's adjacent? Which one's opposite? Well, I know for one thing it's not 10, because 10 is the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is always across from the right angle. But if it says tangent of A, well, adjacent kind of means next to, and opposite means, like across. So how would I do that here? Tangent of A would be, well, this is my opposite there. Then that means this is the adjacent. And that could change whenever they want to. So that would be 8 over 6. So it's just 8 over 6. All right, now let's think multiple choice test. They like to simplify because 8 is really 4 times 2, and 6 is really 3 times 2, which makes 4 over 3. It's that easy. It doesn't really get any easier than that. It's seriously that easy. All right, so let's do another one. Let's kind of go through here. That was a basic one. Let's do one like how about let's see if we can scroll down to it. Cosine z. Sure, we'll do cosine z. This one right there. I'll zoom in on it too, just to kind of give us a nice big picture of what's happening. So cosine z. So cosine would be my CAH group because it's, the SOHCAHTOA. So that means I'm going to have cosine of, what is this, z equals, well, then that's going to be the adjacent over the hypotenuse. Adjacent over the hypotenuse. Piece of cake. And in this case, z, the adjacent would be right here. So that's my adjacent. This is my opposite. And the hypotenuse, of course, is across from the right angle. Boom. So adjacent over hypotenuse, that's just 27 over 45. Whoa, that was fast. But I could simplify that because I know 27 is 9 times 3 and 45 is 9 times 5. So that's really just 3 over 5. It was that fast, dude. That's like super easy. Let's see if we can come up with a harder one because, I mean, seriously, those are just way too easy. All right, let's see. Tangent x, cosine x, sine a. All right, okay, so this one's a little bit different. Let's look at this one, number 45. So sine of a. And here's why it's different. We'll zoom in on it and we'll look exactly at what's going on. So we have this piece here, and that's not a big deal. It's not, Okay, so we got A, B, and C, and it's asking us to find sine of A. All right, so why is this one slightly different? Well, because A is up here and the other ones were down there. But that doesn't matter, because if I'm going from A, that means that 28 is my opposite. 21 up here, this is my adjacent, and the hypotenuse is always across from this one. So I got my pieces, now I just got to use the right ones. So because we're doing the sine relationship, that's the so the sine of A is going to be the opposite of A over the hypotenuse. So we're going to put the opposite up here and the hypotenuse down here. And the opposite in this case of A would be 28. There we go, 28. And the hypotenuse would be 35. I notice that these are all kind of multiples of 5. That's interesting. Let's see, or not multiples of 5. What? Multiples of 7. So 28 is really 7 times 4. And 35 is really 7 times 5. So that just makes 4 over 5. Check. Done. Piece of cake. All right, is that good? Let's double check. See if there's any more. I'm going to zoom out here. Any more that are kind of tricky ones? Those are probably good so far. Yeah, that should be good. You know, these really aren't that hard. You just figure out what angle you're talking about. So for example, here's x. And if I wanted to kind of think from x, then what would 36 be? 36 is across from x, so this one would be my opposite. And this would be my hypotenuse. Why? Because it's across from the 90-degree angle. So there's my hypotenuse, and here's my adjacent. And then I'm just asking myself, well, what kind of relationship is it? Well, cosine would be the ka, or cosine is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So it's just kind of an introduction to it, real basic stuff. But hopefully it'll get you going just enough to kind of figure out what you need to for it. And so what was this? Cosine of x equals. The adjacent would be 15. The hypotenuse is 36, which are both multiples of 3. Yeah, they are. So 3 times 5 is 15, and 3 times 12 is 36. So you get 5 over 12. Super easy. That's all. And keep practicing. Watch the video again if you need to, just to kind of see how the pieces play out.